everything. I just want to give a little disclaimer. This podcast runs a little bit longer than usual, longer than it's usually going to be ran. We had a lot of things going on this past weekend, so we tried to cover as much as possible. Going forward, it will be a little bit shorter, between the 45-minute and an hour time length. And we did have some technical difficulties with Mike, so it may sound a little bit far away in this episode, but again, it will be rectified by next week. But with that said, it's time to jump into the lowdown.
Uh-oh, come on, you gotta stop this guy before he really gets going.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first edition of the Looow Down Podcast, an opinion-based podcast where we look at the different promotions from WWE all the way to New Japan and break it down for your listening pleasure. I'm your host today, CJ, and rolling with me from the Looow Down is my wrestling partners in podcast, Serrano and Vern. What's going on, y'all?
I'm good.
What's up? Man. As we're recording this, we're 2 days past from WrestleMania 34 and a day removed from the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah, man.
I think it's a great time to debut a podcast and discuss the granddaddy of them all and fallout from Monday night. 2 birds in 1 stone, so that way we can kind of knock it out. If you haven't seen Monday Night Raw, I suggest you skip some parts because we are going to provide a few spoilers. Where do we jump in? Matter of fact, where did you guys watch WrestleMania at? How did you guys do it?
On the WWE Network.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Did you watch at home? Was it a group of people?
It was me and my girlfriend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was solo enjoying it.
Yeah. It started at 2 o'clock, so we had about 7 hours.
It was 7 hours and 10 minutes.
7 hours and 10 minutes clock.
Yeah.
Each wrestler, each match, I think, minus the Undertaker match, which we'll get into later, but each match was about 15 minutes. Clocked about maybe the match with the least amount of time was the Undertaker match. It was 2:45, 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Wow.
So we'll get into it because if you ask me, I could have did without it personally, but who am I? I'm just a fan, right? Again, guys, this is a podcast for the fans by the fans. We got a Facebook page up right now, the Looow Down Wrestling Podcast page. Excuse me. That's with 3 O's. Leave a comment, send a message, give us something to chew on so that way we can talk about it. If there's topics that you guys want to talk about, certain pay-per-views, any matches that you want us to break down or hear our various opinions about, let us know. We'll jump in and we'll break it down, give you a shout out, and work it out that way. I'm looking for my notes, but let's start off with the pre-show. We started off with the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial.
Right.
How did you guys feel about it?
See, I didn't watch that.
You missed the Battle Royal?
I missed the pre-show.
Okay.
But I did some little highlights.
Okay.
And I like the ending.
You like the ending.
The ending was a shocker.
So we're preluding to some Woken Universe stuff that we had. What did you think about it, Serrano?
I was not impressed.
Oh!
I was not impressed.
Not
it was
at all.
not exciting to me.
Okay.
I think that ending could have been a bit better and made a little bit more sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna jump into it. Basically, we started off with all competitors in the ring. It dwindled down. We had some good eliminations. Go ahead.
We seen a lot of factors that we haven't seen in a long time.
What? Talk to me. Like what?
R-Truth.
R-Truth coming back from injury.
Right.
He's back in the game. I think I saw Epico, one of the Cologne brothers, Primo and Epico.
Yeah.
Was it Primo?
Yeah.
Okay, Primo. I saw Primo. We had, who else came back? Mike Kanellis. You know what? Mike Kanellis doesn't get half the credit I feel he deserves. The guy.
I'm still waiting to see all the stuff that he did, like in TNA and.
You haven't watched none of that?
Huh?
You haven't seen none of the TNA stuff that he did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm waiting for him to break out like that in WWE.
Yeah, well, it's time. I feel like it's time. I mean, I think the reasoning behind it. Well, so when he debuted, he was out of shape. And that was the biggest thing. He came in and the Mike Bennett that we had on TNA Impact Wrestling wasn't the Mike Kanellis we got in WWE. Maybe a few months later, he admitted to having an addiction to painkillers. So they took him off. A little bit after that, after the painkiller situation, he's basically a spokesperson for clean living now. So he's in the best shape ever. I've never seen so many abs on a guy besides like Finn Balor, but they'll probably give him a push. Or if we're lucky, mid-card, and we have the Superstar Shakeup coming up next week. 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. So if you saw anybody come out on Monday that don't think that they might be their home. So we had the eliminations. We dwindled down the last, I would say the last three was Bray Wyatt, Mojo Rawley, and who else? Baron Corbin. So Baron eliminated Kane. And then we had Baron, Mojo, and Matt Hardy. Matt eliminated Mojo. And then we had Matt and Baron, right? I think. And then out of nowhere, we get Darkness. We get the little flashes. And
but that was before Mojo, though.
That was also Bray Wyatt was in before Mojo.
Because he helped them eliminate Mojo and Baron.
So we were final three. We were at the final three. Final four was Kane, Baron, Matt, and Mojo.
After Kane threw out Dolph Ziggler.
After Kane threw out Dolph Ziggler. Our final four, then we get to the final three, and then after the wonderful, I believe, the Ultimate Deletion match, we get the return of Woken Bray Wyatt. Now, me personally, I would have preferred him to be in the match. I would have preferred Jeff Hardy in this battle royal. You get that Woken universe feel. You get to see whether or not they're going to dominate these other guys. You get to see whether they're going to bond. What's that whole dynamic? Now, we got to see them interact on Monday when going in the hallways as they were passing by and things like that. But we'll get to it. Bray Wyatt shows up. Baron Corbin hits Bray Wyatt with the End of Days. And in distraction, Matt Hardy eliminates Baron Corbin. And at the end of that match, we got a nice little hug from Woken Wyatt and Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy ends up being your Andre the Giant Battle Memorial.
What do you think about the change in his character? Do you see any... Is he like the same, or do you see a difference?
Me personally, I don't. It has to build. We're in building mode. They hit the reset button on Monday, and they do that every year after WrestleMania. The last 4 years, the Roman Reigns project, and then you get a reset. I need to see what this Wyatt is. Is it going to be the cryptic promos? Are we going to get like comedy out of Bray? Is it because the stick with the Woken universe is comedy. It's a play on comedy. It's a play on wrestling comedy.
I like that he's smiling more.
Yeah.
But, from what I'm getting right now, is like a taste of how Orton joined
the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
Oh, so you feel a turn coming. I mean,
not too soon.
No.
Just a build up.
It's gonna have to build into something. I mean. This is the part where we jump into Monday, kind of jump to the future a day later. We had some into cross pass. Jeff Hardy returns and bails Finn Balor and Seth Rollins out of a 2-on-3 handicap match and makes it a 6-man tag, if I'm not mistaken. Right. They go in the hallway, and who's standing in the hallway after his tag match is Matt Hardy with Bray Wyatt, Woken Bray Wyatt, and you get to see the Brother Nero dynamic with Matt Hardy, and then Bray Wyatt and Brother Nero interact,
embrace each other.
And you get the love and everything like that.
I was a little live.
I need a little more though. Like I need him to make it a little bit more over the top. Like I still feel like Bray is kind of getting used to this Woken universe. Not sure, but then that's the build up. If you fall into the lake of reincarnation, at least we didn't get Husky Harris back. That's what I'm so overjoyed about. We didn't get Husky Harris back. We have Bray Wyatt, and Matt Hardy is our Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner. The next match after that, which people were highly speculated that it could have been a show stealer, Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight title. I know this was this was the pre-show match still. So Andre the Giant and Battle Royal and the Cruiserweight was on the pre-show. I think Women's Battle Royal made it off to the kickoff, or those last two were on the kickoff. But I was impressed. I've been a Cedric fan since the Cruiserweight Classic.
Same here.
Oh man, the story. He didn't make it, but the fans chanted in the Full Sail University arena. They're chanting for the guy. We want Cedric, and Triple H walks out, raises his hand. We're signing Cedric, and you watch him. You watch him progress. You watch him grow, become a character from the 205 Live Vince McMahon era to the now 205 Live Triple H era. Cedric has gone leaps and bounds, and what better to have Mustafa Ali, two high flyers, two amazing athletes who can do pretty much anything from everywhere. How did you feel about the match, though? It was short to me. I think it could have went a little bit longer. Could have told a better story, but I mean, it's two baby faces. You know, you don't have that heel baby face dynamic. Did you guys catch this one, or this is one y'all missed?
That's the one.
That was the one you missed. That's the one you missed.
No, I love the action of the 205 Live guys.
Yeah.
It's just, I think Enzo brought the character.
I'm going to call him he
lacking.
must not be named.
But it's just the character lacking for me.
Yeah, as far as Cedric?
As far as the 205 Live guys, period. Like,
so the thing is, I think when you watch, because I've watched all of it from NXT to 205 to the mixed match and all of that stuff. And when you watch the changing of the guard of who's in control, you can kind of tell when Jack Gallagher was, you know, Gentleman Jack, and he was real character-esque. He wasn't really getting a real push. You had Drew Gulak, the PowerPoint presentation. Got over. It was great. It got over, but what are you showing me athletically? When we started the Classic almost 3 years ago, it was about the athleticism. All these 16 competitors from across the world showing what they can do in the ring, something different from what we see on a regular basis from the main roster.
And the action is always amazing.
It is. But we wasn't getting as much as we're getting now.
That never fails. But I feel that the two main people that put 205 on the map, I say, will be Neville and
Neville, yeah.
Neville and
the king of the
cruiserweights. I gotta agree with you, Enzo.
Yeah, he who must not be named. No copyright infringement to J.K. Rowling.
They sparked it up.
You know what they did, because Enzo was a character. He was bigger than life. Right. Remember his debut with Cass? Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I love the phrase. He was a talker. Yep. He was a talker. But, you know, things happened. Mm-hmm. He kept stuff from management, and management found out, and investigations happened. We haven't seen Enzo since the beginning of this year. Yeah. So, you know, the story, though, with Cedric, that was his title. He should have won it. That was his.
On to Cedric. I've been rolling with Cedric when I seen him come to Raw.
Okay.
And they had that fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
With Cedric. It was Cedric, Tony Nese.
Oh, yeah.
And Rich Swann.
Rich Swann.
And
that's another one.
Right.
He's not, but he was cleared. So, I mean, you know, but that's neither here nor there.
And just seeing all those flips, all those elbows thrown and everything.
It was good.
Fast action.
Yeah, it was good to see. It felt good to. We haven't had Rey Mysterio. We haven't had, you know, who are our main high flyers that, you know, most of our high flyers now are NXT. Yeah. You know, at that time, Corey Graves wasn't a high flyer, but he was a dynamic wrestler. A lot of these guys injured, concussion protocol, things like that. We have a division built now where we can get all of that. Mm-hmm. Now it's in the proper hands. I feel it wasn't in the right hands of Triple H, you know, of Vince McMahon, because he's a character-driven guy. Right. Big guys, Giant, Big Cass, Big Show. Those are guys that cater to what he likes. But a smaller division of guys where the business is actually heading, you got to do something with him. Look at our Sami Zayn. He's not a big guy.
205 Live brings out like the kind of characters you miss, like Billy Kidman.
Oh, Billy.
Ultimo Dragon, Rey Mysterio.
Dean Malenko.
Right.
The old school classics.
And having Triple H on board, you know. He
even said
that right spark.
Yeah, he said in an interview, he said, you know, I don't even decide what they do. I just okay it. I'm at the point where they have the freedom to do what they want. I okay it. If it's cool, if it's going to be something that brings eyes, then we'll do it. Based off of Dave Meltzer's eyes, it was a good match, but nothing compared to the most of the recent 205 Live main events, which is something that I agree about. The 205 Live main events have been epic, completely epic. But then when you look at what WrestleMania is, a 7-hour show, all the matches that we had to squeeze in, right. It just wasn't enough room for them to really do what they wanted. I feel we ended the match with I believe Cedric hit him with the lumbar check, back elbow, lumbar check. We had an emotional moment. Count the 1, 2, 3. Cedric gives him a hug on the mat. Cedric is your new cruiserweight champion. Dope. Yeah, it's about time. Now we get to see what happens. I'm excited. I haven't even watched 205 Live yet.
That's tonight.
Oh, it's a long
reign.
I know. What I'm hoping in these, and this is my prediction, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Neville comes back. I need the king of the cruiserweights back.
Knock on wood.
On 205 Live. Knock on wood. I mean, his contract is frozen right now, so he can't go anywhere else. He's in that Rey Mysterio period where he wants to leave, but he can't because he has dates, so they freeze him. Only way out is to basically come back and do the dates. Come back and do the dates. Give us some that Red Arrow, or give us that the Rings of Saturn. Give us that heel. We need a heel on 205 Live. Coming full circle with the pre-shows, Women's Battle Royal was the next match. We got entrances from Becky Lynch. She was the first one out. Then we had the train of women. Everybody didn't really get an intro. It looked like mainly the 4 horsewomen. The 3 of the 4 horsewomen got their intros. So we got everybody else, a mixture of NXT and main roster. We had all the women on the roster that was there, including Peyton Royce. We had Dakota Kai, Davida Kavi, Tenara Conti, Kairi Sane, Bianca Belair. My favorite, Bianca Belair, the EST of NXT. The best, the awesomest, the greatest.
I like how you put that.
Man, she is that's their slogan, the EST of NXT. Fiance to Montez Ford of the Street Profits, if y'all don't know.
What you think about that match? So
I love that match. Royal? Absolutely.
Yeah, we started off with NXT versus the main. We started off with Carmella getting eliminated. Then we had NXT, basically NXT versus the main roster. It weeded out a little bit. It came down to Bayley, Sasha Banks, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan, and Ruby Riott, our final 5. So it was basically the Riot Squad versus Sasha and Bayley.
That was after Naomi got like.
Well, we getting there. But what happened was she got tossed out the ring. Yeah, so we didn't see what happened with Naomi. Naomi gets tossed out.
Actually, I went back to that.
Yeah,
and she rolled out the ring.
So
she was down, but she just kind of rolled out.
She did the Miz. Okay. Some real sneak stuff for our black listeners. Some real sneak stuff. So we had our final 5. It looked like Bayley and Sasha Banks worked together to throw out Morgan, Riott, and Logan. And then, we had the beat between Bayley and Banks right now. One of the greatest women's rivalry that could be, that isn't right now. And if we flash back, Elimination Chamber, Sasha eliminated Bayley. And, we thought this was going to be a friendly thing. She's been holding a grudge. We get a handshake, and bam, Bayley eliminates Sasha. Mm-hmm. To Sasha's surprise, thinking that it was going to be her friend. Was not. Bayley celebrates.
That's what comes around goes around.
That's exactly what it is. We got the Bayley celebration, and out of nowhere, Naomi with the rear view, baby. The best finisher, I feel like, but that's just my personal opinion. The rear view to Bayley, dog, and tosses her right out the ring. And Naomi is your first ever inaugural Women's Battle Royal winner. Not to mention the first black Women's Battle Royal winner. Yes, if we keep going down this path, who knows? But there's history in there.
History is being made for sure.
Oh, yeah. And if you look at Naomi, she's, in our generation, almost like the first black, almost everything. I wouldn't give it to Sasha. Sasha's kind of mixed. I mean, black is dominant and everything. Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about like African American, represent roots, et cetera, I give it to Naomi. She had her last year with her Mania win after she came off the injury, came back and took out Alexa. We on a roll. I'm all for the Usos when it comes to Naomi. Now we're into the main card. We're moving kind of trepidatiously, but we're making good time. We're gonna probably blow through a lot of this stuff. because I feel like the peak of the main card started with the Intercontinental title and it ended with Daniel Bryan. After that, I feel like everything was downhill, like roller coaster ride. The stories could have been better, but we'll get there. So we started with the Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. We had some good entrances. Some, if you noticed, Seth Rollins came out first. His Game of Thrones inspired garb, the blue eyes. He was a White Walker for the evening. Yes, I'm all for winter is coming. Then we had The Miz come out. I really wasn't sure what he was supposed to be.
And his headgear confused me.
You know what? I
thought
it was a shout out to Naruto. That's what I think. I felt like it was like an anime thing inspired.
I thought it was based off that one video game. I forgot what it was, but the one with the little thing and the gun. The glasses.
The glasses?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what those were from. I was like, maybe he's like a Oompa Loompa or something with the glasses and he was trying to do something. I really wasn't sure, but what stuck out to me the most on his interest is that he sent the Miztourage back. I was listening to something where they were saying Miz was doing a fake babyface run leading up into WrestleMania. Miz and Maurice just had their daughter, and he was giving promos during the he was doing his promos during commentary, and he's talking about his baby girl and I'm a new man and blah blah blah. So I'm thinking we're gonna get a Miz babyface run. He's gonna be the good guy. He's got the daughter, wife at home. He's leaving the Miztourage behind, and to me it was a solid good match. The notes that I took on the Intercontinental Championship match, Pyro finally. You know how long I've been itching for Pyro. A bang, a firework, a boom, a something. A lot of these entrances are not what they used to be because they don't have pyro.
Especially Brock Lesnar. When he do the arm, it's like...
And he had some. He got some too on his entrance. He got some. Seth Rollins comes out, the burn it down with the flames, the loudest burn it down you'll probably ever hear. Next to the Raw after Mania. Finn was representing the LBGT community with his with rainbow colors. I'm all for it. Equality for all. I'm not picky about any of that stuff, and it puts him on another level. When you're representing something, it kind of, I wouldn't say it leads him on that Daniel Bryan path, because Daniel Bryan is the everyman. He's like our generation's Dusty Rhodes. The all-American plumber. Has to work hard to give. Daniel Bryan is our Dusty Rhodes, but Finn Balor, he's working his way to something, and I'm hoping. Spoiler alert, with the Superstar shakeup coming up next week, maybe Finn will go to SmackDown. That's what I'm hoping. Go to the land of opportunity, get an opportunity. He's cluttered down on Raw. It's so many superstars on Raw. It's more than SmackDown. And we've seen with superstars like Sami Zayn and The Miz, for example. Even Dolph Ziggler, which it didn't really work that well. I'm still trying to figure out Dolph Ziggler.
I am too.
They have those opportunities to be themselves. If I can get the Finn Balor from New Japan, the rock and roller Prince Devitt, where he said real after everything. It was like everything was real. I would love it. But we jump in the match. Balor took over the Miz with the sling blade coming towards the end. We had the drop kick, the shotgun drop kick, and the coup de grace. Rollins breaks up the coup de grace on the back with a curb stomp to Finn Balor on Miz's back, and then sets up the Miz for the curb stomp, and we get the 1-2-3 from Seth Rollins. And we finally have Grand Slam Rollins, who is now a Grand Slam champion, along with his Shieldmade members, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. And a part of me wanted Dean Ambrose to run out and spoil the whole thing, because I've been itching for a Dean heel turn. But Dean is out
injured. For that return.
Oh, too. Yeah. Yep. He's injured right now. He's still got some time to go. He's in Alabama. That's why he wasn't at WrestleMania. He's rehabbing. So hopefully by SummerSlam he should be back. To me, one of the shockers of the night, we jump into Charlotte Flair, champion, versus Asuka for the SmackDown women's title. I'm sorry.
Right.
Did it catch you off guard? The ending, the finish to this match,
Yes.
did it shock you?
Yes.
I feel like it was too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt that way about a lot of these WrestleMania matches. A lot of they were like speed telling stories and stuff like that.
Like with that one, I felt like Sasha Banks and Charlotte old matches was longer than that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, was Charlotte and Sasha? Those were at Raw. They had those were single pay-per-views where they were the main event. Those were history-making matches. The elimination, the Hell in a Cell, Charlotte versus Sasha. They had the last woman standing match.
The Falls Count Anywhere.
Falls Count Anywhere. 2017 was the year of first for the women's division, so that way they could catch up. No first Money in the Bank. 2 of them in 1 year.
But that match with Asuka, that brings another achievement on under Charlotte's belt.
It makes her one of the greatest women's superstars that we've had. I mean, Mickie James is trying to get her 7th women's title run. Trish Stratus is at 6. We have history makers. Jacqueline was the first ever WWE Women's Champion. We're remaking history in our generation. It was short. I could have went 5 minutes longer with the finish. Like, give me a reason to believe. Like, help me think that, And when we talk about the shot, basically what it is Charlotte won clean. There was no heel turn from the dirtiest player in the game's daughter. I would have loved it though. Give me something. Throw into a chair or I like heel Charlotte. I mean, face Charlotte is cool, but heel Charlotte. She was with the get down. She was grinding.
I like it, but
she brings all the stops too.
She does.
Face Charlotte is just as tough. That's
what
I like.
She is. It gives you a totally different dynamic. You see the Charlotte who had to cheat to win.
That figure 8 with one arm. Figure 8 with one arm.
Man, so we're gonna get into it. So basically, Charlotte was breaking down Asuka basically towards the end of the match. She used some new moves. The top rope Spanish fly scared me. I thought she was gonna fall on her neck. She was on the top rope, Asuka on the second, and as they're doing the revolution, she kind of goes down into like a nosedive, but kind of brings it back.
That was my highlight. Right?
Oh yeah. We get to the end. Charlotte locks her in the figure 4, bridges to the figure 8, tells the story about the arm that Asuka was working on, couldn't put all the weight on it, so she's doing a one-arm figure 8. Asuka goes back and forth. Asuka taps out. The streak has come to an end. No more awkward matches, mixed tag matches where her streak is on the. We can tell a story with Asuka now. We don't have to worry about her losing. We can see where she's gonna go and not have to worry about her streak's on the line. Her streak's on. She can win a title now and not have to worry about it. She came in the game on a winning streak. She came in NXT on a winning streak, still didn't lose. So we'll see what they do with her. Monday after Raw, we didn't really get anything from Asuka. We'll save Tuesday because we didn't really get into Tuesday. I'll probably do something for Tuesday tomorrow. But we didn't get much from Asuka on Monday. I don't know if we're licking our wounds, we're going back at the drawing board, or maybe creative doesn't have nothing for her. But it was still a good match. It could have went longer. Maybe down the road, maybe in the Superstar Shakeup, we'll get Asuka on SmackDown, and maybe we'll have some classic matches.
I can't wait for the shakeup.
Oh man, who's gonna go where? Who's coming after the NXT? I mean, we got some, but we didn't get everybody. That brings us to U.S. title match: Randy Orton versus Rusev versus Jinder Mahal versus Bobby Roode for the U.S. title.
I thought Rusev was gonna have it.
Rusev Day.
I thought he was gonna have it.
Rusev Day, man.
I thought Orton was gonna put over Bobby Roode.
You know what? Until Bobby gives me NXT Bobby Roode, NXT Glorious Bobby Roode, you got to go back a little bit further before he came up.
I need TNA Bobby Roode. That's all I remember.
If you go there, I need beer.
Right.
That's what James Storm was backstage not too long ago, last week at Monday Night Raw. So he had a little stint in NXT too, where he did a couple matches, and went back to TNA to finish some business. But James Storm is a free agent. He's been a free agent way before WrestleMania.
And we need to get that beer money going in WWE.
And check this out. Now that TNA, sidebar, now that TNA it's not even TNA, no more GFW, Impact Wrestling, which is being spearheaded by Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, they have it where any of their talent, whether you were Impact prior, Impact now, whatever character you create in Impact, you can take it wherever you want to. That's why you have woken Matt Hardy, and that's probably why you'll get broken Matt Hardy at some point in time. That's why he has the rights. That's why we can say Brother Nero. That's why Monday Night Raw. I'm not gonna go that far. I'll talk about that later. But that's why you get. You know where I'm going with that, right?
And even with WWE, they're starting to put TNA in there, like how Kurt Angle did.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that match. But yeah, we name drop some TNA stuff. So I'm with you though. Beer Money, Bobby Roode. Give me James Storm. Give me Beer Money. Give me the little the cooler cart that he used to roll out on.
The It Factor.
The It Factor Bobby Roode. He can turn into that's what NXT Bobby Roode was though. That's what NXT Bobby Roode was though. NXT Bobby Roode was the It Factor. You couldn't tell him nothing. He was the franchise, and he proved it each and every time. The crowd was really, really over for Aiden English. He was out during the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial with hair, and then when he came out, he shaved it. It's really deep. You have to go back and look at that. He came out. Aiden's been hitting that Rusev Day note really well. It's got better. It was a nice, hard-hitting match, though. We had some back and forth. It was a lot of action, a lot of big moves. Rusev used the sidekick on Samil Singh, and Mahal moved. Then Mahal used the Colossus and pinned Rusev. I don't feel like Rusev should have ate a pin, but we're building Rusev back up. Rusev is over. Yeah. Rusev is over. They were saying.
I still feel that he should have took that.
They were saying there was nothing but Rusev Day shirts in New Orleans. Like that was the most seen shirt over Bullet Club, over Cena shirts. It was Rusev Day shirts. I want a Rusev Day shirt now. Hopefully, if I can ever get Rusev to listen to this podcast, send me a Rusev Day shirt. I will rep you to the fullest, sir. We'll move on, but. Did anybody notice how lackluster Randy's entrance was? It was just, tights and belt. I mean, I know he's the old school, but I need more from Randy. I wanted him to keep up with the Wyatt family. I wanted that when he was with the Wyatt family. But I digress. Randy Orton, he's a legend. He's right behind John Cena on world title wins in our generation.
I can use Randy back on Raw.
I can use Randy back on Raw too.
Yeah.
Because we don't have John. John is part-time now.
Yeah.
But rumors have it Randy's trying to move to that part-time schedule too. So we'll see. I mean, it gives room for guys to, step up. That brings us to what I feel, what a lot of the world felt was the best debut for any outside non-wrestler. And I don't even think you can call her that because she's mixed martial arts, but the debut of Ronda freaking Rousey. Ronda Rousey. Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Triple H, share some of the intro money, dog. There was a lot of wrestlers who could have used some of that intro money. You didn't need all those motorcycles and all those trikes, dog. I mean, there was a lot of wrestlers. I mean, AJ could have used some of that intro money. Trip, leave some of the money to the side. That's just me. But it was a great entrance, though. We had the trikes.
I like him and Stephanie on the apron.
Yeah.
Spitting out the
yeah. Stephanie had to work on her mist a little bit. It was like a little dribble, but it didn't. But
she swallowed some too.
She swallowed some too. She kind of choked it was an awesome entrance. We had the escort of the motorcycles, and then they came down on their individual motorcycles, entered the ring, did the old school Triple H water mist gimmick on the apron. Goes in. We had the little laser lights in a circle and stuff like that. And then we get Kurt Angle. 12 years since this man has wrestled at WrestleMania. And even though he can't turn his neck without turning his body,
right.
Kurt Angle
finally got better.
He actually did better in this match than he did when he teamed up with Seth.
With the Shield? Yeah. I agree with you.
He was less stiff.
And in the Survivor Series match.
The Survivor Series match, yes, sir.
Better gear.
Well, yeah.
Still on it.
Well, you know what? Kurt had great gear in TNA. TNA, he had the mouth guard. They called him the
Survivor Series one. I hated it.
He came out in the Shield. He came out in the Shield guard, didn't he? Didn't he come out with the?
That was the teal.
Oh, that was teal. Yeah, that was
Survivor Series one. It was all stars.
Yeah.
But this one, I
mean, I guess he's not wrestling as frequent as he used to, even though he can still go. Kirk can go. I don't know what anybody said that. Angle Slam was beautiful. And I'm getting everybody else's props out the way because Ronda's going to get hers. Steph looked amazing. She did better than what I expected. Her defense on the armbar,
she got way better.
She got way better, and the shape that they're in too is amazing. The midnight workouts that they do for the schedule that they work was awesome. We're just gonna jump in. It started off Angle and Triple H took the first half of the match. Lock up. Triple H pretty much dominated. And then we get the hot tag from Angle to Ronda. Come on in. We got a little. It's James. We're almost done, James. Yeah, it's all good. You got a cameo on the show, dog. You have a cameo. But we got after some interference with Stephanie and knocking Ronda off the apron and sabotaging some tags. We finally got the hot tag from Ronda Rousey, and I remember the message that Toronto sent me. She's so fluid. Oh, she's so fluid. Oh my gosh, she's so. I was
rooting for her to be
that. That was the biggest hang up.
Yes.
When a non-wrestler or a non-performer or non-pro wrestler gets in the ring for the first time, and you see those pauses, and you see the guys swing for the punch, and you can see him timing. I saw no calculation out of Ronda Rousey whatsoever. Whether it's because they practiced the match a bunch beforehand, or because what I personally believe is that she was training since she left UFC. There was reports that she was training with Brian Kendrick in I want to say Hawaiian Gardens, because that's where his gym is, and was training with him, learning the ropes and stuff. You got something?
Her attitude and just her in-ring, man, aggressiveness, man. Then she talks smack too.
She talks smack, and that to me that gave me shades of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stump a mod hole, and she had the neck roll while she was going into the arm bar, and the neck was going. It was bobblehead-esque. It was beautiful.
The highlight of it. I know everybody likes the last of it when she got the armbar on Stephanie and Stephanie tapped out.
Hold on. Triple H, her and Triple H.
That's what I was getting to.
Yes!
Her and Triple H. Yo, she was throwing some fury punches.
You know what, Trips? There's a point in the match where ref is counting the 1, 2, 3. Triple H pulls the ref out or whatnot. Then Ronda's going for another pin or whatnot, and Triple H pulls Ronda out. And it's not just pull her out. This is a yank. Because that's all you heard. Ronda hit the floor. Ronda sold. She was selling. She sold. Ladies on the main roster, sell. It's only going to get you over. And this is a first timer in the ring on the grandest stage of them all. Kill it. She's an inspiration to the women's main roster. We got to the point where Triple H and Stephanie were first of all, we had an ankle lock and an armbar attempt from Ronda and Kurt. Triple H threw Kurt into Ronda, sabotaged that. Triple H said Ronda and Kurt for the double pedigree. Kurt throws Triple H over the top, and Ronda goes for the armbar. And when she goes for it, she gets it. And she's talking all that smack, and you hear Steph saying, "No, please don't." And Ronda, in my mind, she's saying, "You're gonna get this bar," and Steph's, "No, please don't." And next thing you know, you get the tap out. Ronda Rousey wins her first match in the WWE by tap out via submission over Stephanie McMahon. There's no better match than that. I feel that stole the show.
I did.
Bleacher Report went up. ESPN went up. Dave Meltzer went up. And a lot of people are saying, and I agree with them, you had 3 of the best. Stephanie's a great heel. Triple H is a great heel. Kurt Angle, a good worker. Going forward, though, you're not going to have these same guys in your corner. No. The timing's not going to be the same. It's not going to be months and months of practice. I don't know what her contract is. I don't know if she's going to be, from what we know, she's full-time. She's doing this full-time, so...
I like the segment on Monday as well.
We opened up Monday Night Raw. Stephanie coming out talking smack, basically taking credit for putting Ronda over. And here comes Rowdy Ronda Rousey to break that arm again. Please no. And what do we?
I like that, but I would have liked for somebody else to like just step up and like go after Ronda.
You know what I wanted? Kevin Owens did it. He won the NXT Championship and came out on Monday Night Raw when Cena was doing the U.S. title. I would like to see, and this is where I would hope, Triple H and Stephanie embarrassed, egg on their face. They go Triple H. What does Triple H do? He goes into his pool of talent and picks out Shayna Baszler, new NXT Women's Champion. And there will be a review for NXT TakeOver because it was just so excellent that it has to be a review. But Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey, you get that mix of MMA, you get that mix of pro wrestling. They know each other. Right. They can shoot fight if they want to. They don't have to if they don't want to. I feel it's a show stealer. You got that cobra, that choke that Shayna Baszler has that slept out everybody, and then you have Ronda Rousey in this arm bar. All the submission technique that you'll have, and the switches. It's a wrestling.
Will be on
I think that'll be a good matchup, but I think that needs to be down the line.
Oh, it's gonna be down the line.
I think it'll be too typical to just put two MMA people together.
Real quick, who do you set up for? If it's your WWE, who are you setting up Ronda for as her next opponent?
That's a good one.
Is it Bayley? Bayley's tied up with Sasha.
I will feed her to Sasha.
Sasha Banks? Heel Sasha or face Sasha, though?
Heel
Sasha. I agree with you.
You're the boss. Mm-hmm. This is my ring.
I'm the baddest woman. I'm the baddest woman in the world.
You know, if any of the Riot Squad gets to Raw, I would say probably Ruby Riot.
Ruby Riot. That's not a bad one. Ruby Riot. She's great.
Or what about just to downgrade a little bit and work Ronda up? Ronda versus Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville would be a good one too.
But that's another one. That's like two MMA.
MMA. She has the MMA background. I don't think. I kind of feel that Ronda's more fluid, pro wrestling wise, than Sonya Deville is. Sonya's still getting there. And plus, what's going to happen with Absolution? We fast forward this past Monday, Paige retires from in-ring competition. No more Paige with Absolution. There's more spoiler on that. But what happens with Sonya Deville? What happens with what's that? Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose. What happens to them? Mandy Rose is supposedly a top prospect. Sonya Deville, first open lesbian professional wrestler. They're good. Are they great? In the words of Booker T, are they perfect? That's the question.
I don't see them as a tag team.
I don't either. And you know what?
Mandy would be a good face.
She's once she has the looks. She excuse the dogs, guys. They're kind of upset with our podcast, but it's okay. We're gonna prevail. She has the looks. Whether she has a technique, we have to see. But but we digress from that. The next match, which was another quickie, no pun intended. The Usos versus New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown tag titles. It's not much to talk about on this one. I don't feel like it is.
The only thing is that I like that since the tag titles has been going back and forth from the Usos to the New Day to the Usos, I'm glad that it went to someone different.
Okay, so what are they placeholder until we figure out what's what?
Until we build that tag team division.
SmackDown. What's up?
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper.
I've been waiting.
Big Luke.
I've been waiting. He deserves it.
Luke Harper deserved it.
He deserved it.
Brody
Eric Rowan deserved it, but yes.
Eric Rowan.
They needed to win since the Usos versus the Wyatts.
Yeah, I feel the Bludgeon Brothers, formerly known as the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, now Harper and Rowan, they have no first names anymore. Once they took that little squash beating to The Rock at WrestleMania, along with Bray Wyatt, they've been downhill ever since. They needed the repackaging. Luke Harper, especially coming off the independents, being injured, going out, being injured again. I feel he was a great Intercontinental Champion. People forget Luke was an IC champion for a small period of time. They have to dominate. I don't like how they did Xavier Woods at that last pay-per-view. That could have really injured him. If you watch how they powerbombed him on the steel steps, his head, his cabeza, it was bad, dog. But I'm glad to see
the hair saved him.
Yeah, I think the hair saved him. I do too. I think it's so much oil sheen in that thing. It just slicks and slides off the stuff.
So we're not on SmackDown now.
Not yet. But we are talking about the SmackDown tag titles.
Right.
It was a short match. Domination, not as much domination as the last match between these three.
Usos was killing it.
Usos was killing it towards the end, but it was too much. The Bludgeon Brothers were too much for the New Day and the Usos.
Yes.
The Bludgeon Brothers hit this sit-down powerbomb from the second rope on Kofi Kingston, and your new SmackDown Tag Team Titles champions are the Bludgeon Brothers. I think it's time for the New Day to turn heel again, personally. I know they're over with merch and their gimmick is over with the pancakes, and they came out sidebar. I didn't like the 3D graphic stuff on the screen this year. If you don't go all out with the intros, just go all out. Like,
I want that serious.
Yeah, I want the serious New Day too. What they came in as,
like Xavier Woods when they was going on with Ray and everything, and he said no more playing.
And I think that plays into this dynamic with the Bludgeon Brothers too. You got the Bludgeon Brothers are the Wyatt family, and there was this time where Xavier Woods wouldn't go nowhere near the Wyatt family because they copied the Final Deletion when they had their own version, New Day versus the Wyatt family, which sucked. But it had this dynamic where Bray had built fear into Xavier, and you kind of didn't know if Xavier was going to be a Wyatt family member. Was he going to turn? What's what? I can go back to that. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be the same dynamic, but give me some tension in the New Day. They've been together for a long time. Give me some tension, but solidify the foundation of them. Keep them together, but give me some. They've been together for so long, or shoot them for a singles title. That's what I think. Give me free bird rules on the U.S. Championship. Big E, Kofi, and Xavier defending it however they want to, and make them heels, so that way at every pay-per-view, you don't know who you're going to get. Am I defending against Big E? Am I defending against Kofi? Is it going to be Xavier? You don't know until the night of. That's my preference. I love the New Day. I'm all for them. Prior to this, and let's backtrack, during this Asuka and Charlotte match, afterwards we have a ref running down the ramp full speed. When we didn't discuss John Cena sitting in the crowd for the whole WrestleMania, or at least that's what we thought. During the Asuka match, we get a ref running down, basically looks to say, Taker's in the back, you need to go get ready and get dressed. John Cena sprints down the aisle, and we, after the New Day match, New Day Usos Bludgeon Brothers match, we get John Cena versus The Undertaker. Mark Calloway, or is it Mark Callis? I think it's Mark Calloway. Don't quote me on that.
No, Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
Were you guys kind of disappointed?
Let me be the first to say,
I was not.
boo. I love it. First of all, I'll start with my positives. I love the dynamic. John gets in the ring. He's ready. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. We think he's getting Taker. Here comes the other ref. Sorry, I don't know what's what. Disappointed John. He's been working on his acting chops. He got the face. Did you get swerved the first one? Lights go dark. And you're like, oh, snaps, here it come.
I thought it was Wyatt.
I thought it could have been Taker. I would have even shot for Bobby Lashley. But you hear, it is the man, WWE himself, Elias, ready to perform for the millions and the masses that are watching WrestleMania. He comes down, interrupts John Cena. John Cena gets irritated because he's already frustrated. Gives him the 5 moves of doom: shoulder tackle, backdrop, you can't see me, 5-knuckle shuffle, AA. We are out of here, Elias. We'll get into what I think Elias could have done at WrestleMania, but John Cena handles business with Elias. He walks out. Lights go dark again, and this time we get the gong. Lights go back up. We see what was left at last year's WrestleMania after Roman Reigns, the hat and the gloves and the jacket. We thought it was the end. I wish it was the end personally, but lightning and thunder, old school 90s Taker. We get the graphics. Jacket and the hat is gone, and then we get the music. John is shocked which kind of played into it because, you know, how do you prepare for somebody who's been calling out for 4 weeks? But we get the match. 2 minutes and 45 seconds worth of Undertaker. Brian, what was your disappointment?
Cena can't sell. Cena cannot sell.
Cena can't sell. So did we see the big boot that didn't happen? Did we see the big boot that didn't happen?
I see that.
So during Big Taker's comeback, big boot, John has a hand on the face.
Oh yes, I saw that.
No connection.
I saw that.
Back.
Yeah.
And then,
oh man, that was like
that was bad.
my biggest disappointment.
The funny part though
was
he body slams, he backdrops Undertaker. Go for the you can't see me. No,
Yeah.
Runs to the ropes.
Yeah.
Undertaker sit-ups.
Yeah.
And then he trips.
Oh, but see, I love that. That's selling to me.
I like it.
How many times have we seen that in the 90s? Taker sit up and scare the hell out of whoever his opponent is. I love John Cena selling that. What I did not like, one, we all have social media. I follow Michelle McCool personally, Undertaker's wife. It is pretty much known fact. Undertaker has short hair. The hair is short. Short. Undertaker had a weave, dog. I didn't like the extensions. I didn't like that. I did not like that. I didn't
notice that.
I know. My girl noticed it. That's the thing. Chanel was watching it. And are those extensions? Lo and behold, they are. Those were.
I didn't know. It's better than that weave he had the first time when he fought Triple H.
Oh my God, that was atrocious. I mean, I wouldn't. But see, this is the thing. Give me the American Badass. That's what I wanted.
That's what I was waiting.
We had Kid Rock. We had it. The buildup was, and I know Vince does. It's known Vince does not like the American Badass Undertaker. He does not like that character because he feels it takes away from the myth and the mystique of the dead man, the Undertaker.
And a lot of people's, thoughts was, how do you go back to that?
Well,
how do you go back to that?
Well, storyline wise, he retired the gimmick at 33.
Yeah.
Roman beat him. We're back in NOLA where he historically,
which would have been a good storyline to go.
Retire the gimmick. The dead man was 21-1.
Cena was calling out the Undertaker. So
he was.
I guess that's what you would get.
No, I don't know. The Undertaker that Cena knows is the American Badass. That's the Undertaker. Yeah. The Undertaker that gave Cena the torch back when he debuted.
If wrestling fans don't remember, they had history.
They did have history.
They had history on SmackDown.
Back when Cena were in life, had the chain.
Thugonomics, Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena. Best John Cena to me, personally. Come out and bust the ball.
Cena didn't lose clean.
He did not lose clean, but that's the Cena that I loved. I mean, right now we have two atomic baby faces where they're so nuclear that people just don't get with them. Roman Reigns, John Cena. One of them needs to turn. It's time. The Roman Reigns project isn't working, has not worked. And John Cena, he's getting that Kurt Angle respect now with the John Cena sucks, the Kurt Angle you suck. I mean, I respect John, but I need something different. Or keep on with the part-time schedule. If we're going to keep it this way, then cool. I don't need to see as much John as I'm getting. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. We got all the thrills and everything. We got the lariat. We got the walk the rope. We got everything except the last ride. We got the tombstone. I think Undertaker was rubbing it in because if you watch, he kind of dipped his crotch in John Cena's face when he pinned him for the tombstone. It was kind of close. I laughed a good laugh.
Kick out.
No kick out. No.
Shortest. Shane did better.
Which is why I stick by my opinion. Taker needs to retire. He does not need to do any more matches because this makes it seem like he can't go anymore.
He gave it up.
We've gotten it all. Anything after that is, I feel like it taints the mystique of Taker because Taker has always been a badass. He's always been he was the locker room leader from the Attitude Era all the way up until when he started declining.
I still think he could go.
But it's just no WrestleMania without Taker.
It isn't no WrestleMania without Taker. That's
the main thing. Like, whether he just shows up and does nothing, it's just no WrestleMania without the Undertaker.
It ain't, but I mean, I listened to somebody say, okay, do it like this. You get 1 year where you have a Taker match, boom. Then you have another year where you get the build up to the next Taker match. So at WrestleMania, you start that build up, and then the next one you get a match.
Or pass the torch.
Yeah, would you pass the gimmick? Because there's a way you can keep the Taker thing going. He retired the hat, he retired the jacket, he retired the gloves.
You have Woken Matt Hardy, you have Bray Wyatt.
There was a point in time where I thought he may pass it to Bray.
Well, Bray
was like close to that Undertaker.
WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clarita. That was the one I went to.
I was there too.
Yeah, okay. The ladder match. I was in there, boy. That was the one that it should have happened. Bray should have went over. He didn't. I know Bray had an ankle injury during that time, so it was more so. For what it was, it seemed like Bray couldn't do everything that he needed to do to keep the match going. But I mean, I don't know that the time hasn't come and gone yet. Bray still has time. He can still be the face of fear. There's going to be another deletion match somewhere down the line. That it had the highest rating of a third hour in WWE, and it carried them over. So another one's going to happen. We'll leave Taker in the grave where he lies now because we probably won't see him again until who knows. We move on. We're coming towards the finish line, guys. Almost there, and we're clocking just about almost under an hour. So we should probably be like an hour 15. But the return, the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I shed a tear. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I shed a tear for D. Bryan. That promo, the Tuesday, a couple weeks when he came back, that alert I got when I was at work, and I'm looking, and it's like 6 o'clock. Medically clear, Daniel Bryan can return to in-ring competition. Hopped on Messenger, shot it to everybody, tweeted it out. I've been missing Daniel Bryan because, like I said earlier, Daniel Bryan is our everyman in this generation. He represents the too short guy, the too small guy, the guy who doesn't look like he can do what he needs to do to win. Daniel Bryan has been that guy all the way through his career, from when he came in from Ring of Honor under The Miz as his protege. He got fired, came back. Daniel Bryan is WWE. If you're looking for a face of the company, the man's yes chant went viral when he did it around the world. Different pro sports, just different arenas, all sorts of stuff. We got the video package for the return. It was the Eagle Stadium thing that they did. I think they did 1 year before, and we got to see the whole story. And what did it for me was he comes out, head a little bit down, looks out to the ring, turns sideways, and yes, side trips all the way down. We get Shane in. I like how they did it. They're protecting Bryan. The apron bomb. They had me. I'm like, oh, they did it. That's it. He's done again. Like, why'd you do that? But they told the story. Shane carried most of the match, even though the quote unquote, I don't know if the diverticulitis is a work or whatever, if it's real, but Shane did his role. I didn't like the fast punches after seeing Rowdy do her fast punches. Yes. They were kind of sloppy.
Some was not connected.
Yeah, some didn't connect at all. I've kind of had my fill with Shane. I don't think there's much else he can do for me now. As he came back, he gave my nostalgia for the little feet thing and all that. But it's time for Shane to kind of fade to the background now. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they dominated. They didn't pull any punches on Daniel Bryan when the match started. Haluva kick out the gate, apron power bomb. Daniel is laid out. They call the medics out, the stretcher and everything like that. It's basically a handicap match, Shane versus Owens and Zayn. Owens and Zayn were beating on Shane's stomach because of the injury. Shane had a comeback. We got a coast to coast from the corner. Haven't seen one of those since last year WrestleMania. And he went for the pin. Owens sentoned him on the stomach that's supposedly injured. We got a bullfrog splash from Kevin Owens. Bryan saved. He returned into the match. Bryan was the hot tag. And my God, how hot was Bryan? He hits the ropes. And he walks in gingerly, so everybody can soak in like this is about to happen. He gets in. You know when they get the hot tag, they kind of go in and drop tackle. Mm-hmm. No, Bryan hits the ropes, looks over, and boom, here we go. Bryan hitting the ropes, and for like 5 seconds, it's just boom, dodge. You just back to back, and then we get the clothesline. We get old school Bryan. We get the missile drop kick from the top rope. I didn't expect that because I thought he would have changed his style because of the injuries, but
No, he raw and real.
He's raw and real. Yes, he is.
Once he got cleared, I seen the video of him practicing those flips.
Oh yeah, I watched that too. I watched him. He was. They had a ring set up.
Hesitated,
but he hesitated because he hadn't did it in 3 years. Yep. The muscle memory. He practiced the flips or whatnot. We got the flip in the on the turnbuckle. Bring it on home.
His style. Reminds me of rest in peace, but Benoit and
Chris
Guerrero.
Benoit. You know what? I respect Chris Benoit.
Those two, Benoit and Guerrero. It's like a mixture.
We're gonna probably one day we're gonna do a top 10 Benoit Guerrero matches. We're gonna look at them. We're gonna break that down. Be looking forward to that. We're gonna look at some matches and break them down. But yeah, so Bryan was a hot tag. He took everybody down. He had a big comeback. He had the yes kicks. Oh, they sounded so vicious, and they looked way better than the Miz. Hit the yes kicks on Sammy, and then we got the running knee out the corner. Oh my God, it was like a shotgun, and the yes lock. Saw the wedding ring on the finger, but he didn't let that thing go. And Sammy couldn't keep the job. We had a tap out. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon win.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn remains fired.
They remain fired. Fast forward to Monday Night Raw. Who pops up into GM Kurt Angle's office? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, basically saying they had a change of heart. They know what they did wrong. Kurt Angle, being the sly devil that he is, says, "Well, I don't have much room on the roster for you guys, but I heard TNA is hiring." The first TNA joke that we've ever heard out of Angle on WWE TV. They didn't let Jeff Jarrett mention TNA in the Hall of Fame. But here's Kurt Angle bringing it up, but TNA doesn't exist anymore, so technically they can. We had a good one-on-one match between Owens and Zayn that the winner would get a spot on Raw. Come to find out, Owens and Zayn come to a draw. A very good match, though. Very good match. Hard-hitting, what you would see from El Generico and Kevin Steen if they were in Ring of Honor. We get an announcement that 78,133 was the attendance record. It probably wasn't even that close, though. They always fluff the numbers. And then we get the Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title. Great story. They could have told this match in a whole bunch of different ways. I know a lot of people weren't too fond of the body shaming aspect from Alexa Bliss and Mickie James onto Nia Jax. But I feel Nia Jax represents that demographic of women that don't really get the spotlight they deserve in pro wrestling. Awesome Kong or China, or just the bigger women who've been in the business and who can dominate. There's this Hispanic female pro wrestler, and she's heavy set, but agile and God knows what. Hitting suicide dives, sentons, all sorts of stuff. If I can bring her up, I'll talk about her. Jax won, obviously, with the Samoan drop off the middle rope, which was beautiful. I felt Jax should have dominated the whole match. I felt like this should have been a 2 minute and 45 seconds. This should have been a squash match. Started with Mickie. She went straight after Mickie. I loved it. Yeah, there's no funny business in this. Yeah. You talked all that mess about me. I'm going to handle your homegirl, and then I'm going to handle you. We got a Samoan drop on the outside. Ragdoller against the barricade. Oh, it was beautiful. Mickie was done for the majority of the match. Bliss got a lot of offense in, more than what I thought. What did you guys think? I felt like it was unrealistic to me. She got her at the knee. Yeah.
That's the typical.
I know,
you got to get the legs.
At the knee.
I know throughout the weeks she had a knee injury problem.
Yeah.
But for big girl and everything.
Yeah.
The kick shouldn't have affected.
It shouldn't have. This knee pads. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mention this to my homeboy D Money because he wanted me to mention this. they didn't like Nia's ring gear. They didn't feel it was flattering at all. The gold around the waist, it kind of just, it didn't add to her. It kind of made her stand out in a negative way. So D-Money, that's your shout out, dog. Let's get Nia in some more, something more fitting her. They could have did some things. They had the cleavage out. It was mesh in the middle. I mean, it was what it was. That was their stickle from the group that I was hanging out with. It was about a group of 4 of us. And so they had their comments and concerns, but that's neither here nor there. But like I said, Nia Jax on the middle rope, Samoan drop, we got the win. She raises the belt over her head, and we move on.
Now, who's going to take that title away from her?
That, my dear, is the question. Is it Asuka? Asuka's beat Jax.
True.
But I feel like now Jax should be able to put some hands on Asuka. Now that Asuka's been defeated, there should be able to be a story to be told. Since Asuka can eat a pin now, she can eat a loss. There should be able to be a story to be told. Who's the next contender? Who do you put up against Nia Jax?
You know, I feel like they're building Sonya Deville right now.
Yeah,
they mention her a lot.
They do. I think. Well, again, remember they have this LGBT thing going on with Finn Balor. Proceeds of his merch is going to her. She had the rainbow gear on for her representation and whatnot. They have to represent that demographic in some form. It's a publicly traded company, so everybody has to be spotlighted in some form or fashion. Sonya, I think she would squash Sonya. If anything, I would bring Ruby to Raw. I would bring Ruby to Raw. Maybe even the whole Riot Squad. I love Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan is a beast. She's a technical machine. She's a suplex machine.
She has gotten better because the first debut on SmackDown, everything, she was kind of stiff.
Yeah. She didn't spend much time in NXT either.
Yeah, I was really iffy about her, but she's grown a lot.
It's trial by fire in WWE. If you got something good going, they're gonna pull you. Well, Vince is gonna pull you. To what was supposed to be the show stealer of the night, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title. That should have been the main event. You think so?
It should have been the main event.
How did you feel about the match? It was mixed reviews all the way around.
Could have been longer.
Yeah.
Could have been longer. You could have got more out of it.
Yeah.
But it was overall good.
Yeah.
Could have been better, but it was overall good.
And the ending is what made it.
The shock
is what made it good. Yeah.
Shock of the night.
Off the bat,
I know special.
Yeah, man.
The special on tonight.
Oh yeah, I can't wait because I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna put my little steak and cheese burrito in the microwave. I'm gonna be set.
Already got the.
Oh yeah, dog.
I said, oh my gosh.
I'm ready, and that's some of us have seen Tuesday night SmackDown already. Some of us haven't. We're not going to discuss it right now. I might do a solo tomorrow, just talk about it. I might, but we're going to talk about AJ and Shinsuke right now. The rematch from the Tokyo Dome, to the Superdome. Nakamura's entrance. I know Serrano loved this. Nita Strauss from Alice Cooper's band, one of the best lead guitarists in the business right now, did Shinsuke's entrance with a slew of other violin players. Right. And when I tell you this chick shredded her strings, she shredded her strings, and she had all the charisma that you could actually ask for. Oh yeah, she turned Shinsuke up a little bit. It was good. It was real good. I could have took an elaborate entrance from AJ. I for sure would have definitely did an elaborate entrance from AJ. I felt it was missing something. He needed. So he's the champion. He needed it more than Shinsuke. I feel like going into it, the champion should have more elaborate entrances.
They gave Roman Reigns something.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins something.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Charlotte and her entrance, man. That was great.
Homage to her father.
It was a great homage to her father. It was a great homage to her first WrestleMania with Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss when they were the servants to Triple H in his match, I believe against Taker, or I believe it was against Taker. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. And if you're wondering who those gladiators were for her entrance, that was Tino Sabatelli, Riddick Moss, and I believe Dave Matha, 3 NXT standouts. If you're getting that shine, that means you're going to get some shine on the main roster for sure. But back to Shinsuke and AJ. It started off slow. Started off real slow for me, and I'd say that because of the fact that I saw the AJ Shinsuke in Tokyo Dome. I saw that match, hard hitting, strong style was represented in that match. I know WWE is a different style, so therefore it wasn't exactly what they wanted to start off with. At least that's what I feel. But it got going and built up. Styles did retain the title when Nakamura went for the Kinshasa. Styles reversed it to a Styles Clash, got the pin. Love seeing the Styles Clash. Love seeing the Styles Clash. I love seeing the Styles Clash. You don't see it often, but when you see it, it looks like it hurts, and you better lay down. We saw that after the match, Nakamura tried to show respect. Took the belt from the referee, talked to AJ a little bit, took a knee, and handed AJ the belt. AJ said something to him, and shades of chaos. Shinsuke Nakamura from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shades of Toriano Yano, dog. I know I butchered that, but dude, this ball shot was beautiful. Beautiful.
What triggered it?
What triggered it for me?
I felt like
Go ahead.
It was the tap on the shoulder.
You think so?
Kind of like the tap
On the head that did it for AJ? Yeah. There was shade there was a lot of shade going on in all of this, and boy oh boy, when he gave that ball shot, I know a lot of the fans probably didn't like it. They felt like this was Shinsuke's time, but Shinsuke has to show us that he can hang with the big boys. It's like Sami Zayn being a babyface.
This WrestleMania, no Royal Rumble winner won.
Oh no Royal Rumble winner won. No Asuka, no, and that I think that's Vince telling you that at the end of the day, this is still his show, regardless of what we want. Mm-hmm. You know, we may have wanted the New Japan era, Asuka era to come in. Vince has something up bigger. He has the bigger picture. He knows what he's been doing it for years. I question some of the things that he's done, but he's brought us some moments over the years that you can't argue with. Austin versus Bret Hart, and even though Austin and Bret Hart took that into their own hands during the I Quit match, the color, the blood from Austin's face, it made the match. That's what made Austin who he is today, and that's kind of shades from the Roman match, but we'll get there. But yeah, Nakamura with the ball shot. We got some good vibrations on the apron. He was giving him the sole of his boot to his face. It was beautiful. I love heel Nakamura. It's like heel AJ. It's like heel Prince Devitt, Finn Balor. These guys in New Japan, their heel characters are so refined. Like, they're not going for the cheers. They're gonna make you boo them. Like, you're not gonna like what Shinsuke does. And Shinsuke cut a promo tonight. When you go home and watch it, and I'll just share a little spoiler. Renee Young, is it Renee Young? Renee Young finds her backstage, finds her backstage, and Shinsuke, we want an explanation of what happened and blah blah blah. And Shinsuke, me and AJ had a good match, and I think he enjoyed himself. Real sarcastic. Renee Young says, I don't really think you're being genuine, and Shinsuke says, I speak no English, and walks off. It was great. He doesn't.
I like that part.
Yeah.
At first, he says, I think he says, I'm sorry for what I did to AJ.
I'm so sorry for what I did to AJ.
And then she asks him again, and he says, I'm sorry. I don't speak English.
And he walks away, and you feel Shinsuke now. It's not. Because now, when you see Shinsuke like this, then you'll understand babyface Shinsuke.
On another note,
back
to the entrances.
Okay.
Japan, Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
He has some moves.
He has some moves. Oh yeah, he had the neck roll. He had all of it.
Didn't know he could do that.
Oh yeah, his character is built around a Joey Mercury and Michael Jackson. He said he used to chill watching Michael Jackson videos and compared Michael Jackson's dance movement to strong style. He said he has a fighting stance when he dances. That's how he relates to him. He said he wasn't buff or muscular. He was kind of small. Right. So is Shinsuke. So where the Shinsuke era is going, I'm not sure. Watch SmackDown tonight because you will be fairly surprised. I will say that. AJ retains the title, and we get some more of the phenomenal era. I'm not even going to give this next one much time. I love all three of these guys, but I feel like it was a waste of their talent. I'm not even going to bother to ask you guys' opinion on it, because if it's like mine, then we're on the same page. Sheamus and Cesaro, the bar. We don't set the bar. We are the bar. Versus Braun Strowman and a mystery partner. Braun goes into the crowd. I'm expecting Elias. I want Elias. Elias should have been the guy. I would have took Neville as a surprise partner. Just the big and small dynamic. But we didn't get that. Elias hits the crowd, says he's going to pick somebody from the WWE universe to be his tag partner. Elias stumbles around. 2 minutes later, finds Nicholas.
You mean Braun?
You said what?
You said Elias.
Oh, I'm sorry. Braun. Braun finds Nicholas, who we later find out in news that he is the son of referee John Cone. So it was a plan.
I wanted that Elias and Braun.
How about this, though? In this, go ahead.
Where did you go from their, altercations and
Braun and Elias?
Yeah, that's that storyline with him coming out with the big
the cello, yeah, and then
I get these hands.
Where do you go?
Does it just ends there?
How about this dynamic? As Braun is looking in the crowd, there's so many independent wrestlers in the crowd. There's New Japan wrestlers in the crowd. Minoru Suzuki from Suzuki-gun is in the crowd. Okada is in the crowd. The Rainmaker, the current new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, is in the crowd for Shinsuke's match. Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, is in the crowd for Shinsuke's match. There's a slew of wrestlers that were backstage. Bobby Lashley was backstage. Big Cass was backstage.
I wanted Cass.
I would have took Big Cass.
Yes.
He needs a revamp because he was with Enzo. I would have took anybody. We get Nicholas. Basically, he was the kid out the crowd. Cesaro came off the ropes for a springboard move. After Braun tags Nicholas in for about 10 seconds, Kid tags Braun back in. Cesaro goes for a springboard European uppercut. Braun catches him, turns him into a power slam. 1, 2, 3. Your new tag champions are Braun Strowman and Nicholas. We fast forward to the next night. We get Kurt Angle asking Braun Strowman backstage, "Hey, where's your partner?" Braun Strowman says he's right here. You just can't see him because he's short. Here's Nicholas right behind him. Kurt asks what they're going to do about the titles. Braun relinquishes the titles with Nicholas because of the fact that Nicholas has a scheduling conflict. He's only in the what, Burn?
4th grade.
Nicholas is only in the 4th grade, and he can't defend the title on a regular basis. But the Bar walks in, and they look at him, and what does Nicholas say? "I'll be back, and you're going to get these hands!" You got to pop out of me.
There's a pro to it.
Yeah.
I know there's many cons, but
there's pros to it.
My pro was that we got to see Woken Matt Hardy and Wyatt
challenge
compete
for those. Yes. Well, I mean, and those are pros and pros. Monday night, we had some follow up. Yeah, the Rock. Revival is so underrated. So underrated. One of the greatest. One of the best tag teams on the roster.
That's the two I want to see: the Revival versus the Bar.
Oh yeah, they've had that.
Yeah,
the bar has squashed the Revival for some odd reason, but that's just. I mean, like I said,
the Revival from NXT. That's what I want.
Now, do you think it's a reason why those titles were relinquished? Like, is there something behind it?
To me, I feel the Bar is going to SmackDown.
That's what I was
feel the Bar is going to SmackDown. They're a great tag team.
Yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro. They can compete across the way. Spoiler alert: last night we got AOP. We got the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering making their debut on a squash match, and they left Paul Ellering. Yes. News is Paul doesn't want to be on the road like that much. That's fine with me. Send him back to NXT.
It's pros to that because
they're good talkers too.
It paints a picture of we got here because of you.
Yeah. Now we don't need you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every talent can use that.
Oh yeah. And those matches against AOP, those are going to be some good matches. AOP has had great matches with DIY when they were a tag team. They had great matches with the Revival. The Revival told the story of breaking down AOP. The Revival was the first team to really break AOP down as far as match-wise, since they're so technical. But I digress. We will get to Monday in due time because we're getting to that hour, guys. We've made it to the finish line. We made it to the main event. 4 years in the making. The Roman Reigns project. To most of everybody, to you listeners out there, to anybody who's listening to this podcast, anybody who watches pro wrestling, whether you watch WWE or not, we've known that Roman Reigns has been the pet project of Vince McMahon ever since the Shield broke up. He went on the trek after the Royal Rumble in Philly, where he got booed horribly, and they sent out The Rock to try to put him over, and they booed The Rock as well horribly. We've had that WrestleMania match where I was there. Me and Serrano was there when Seth Rollins cashed in and pinned Roman Reigns. We had the following WrestleMania where what was it? I think it wasn't Roman and Brock again, but I think
it was Roman and Triple H.
It was Roman and Triple H. We had the WrestleMania to try to get Roman over. Didn't work. Everybody cheered Triple H.
Undertaker.
Yeah, then we had the Roman and Undertaker match. Roman, we did this to try to build up until here. The two men who have wins over Undertaker at WrestleMania battle it out to see who has supremacy of WWE for the Universal title. Everybody and their mother thought this was a foregone conclusion. We've been hearing the rumors Brock is going back to UFC, even though he's currently on suspension from USADA. We heard Dana White say that he's getting Brock in there for another fight. Currently, I think between the winner of Stipe and what is the guy named Daniel Cormier, who's a big WWE fan. Brock is supposedly supposed to be taking on the winner of that. Little did we know, Brock re-signed to WWE on probably on Sunday, probably that right after the match,
like he did last year.
Just like he did last year. You know, Brock is 40. I think about 44 almost. He's past his prime in the octagon. Pro wrestling, I think, is basically his meal ticket. I'm sure he can fight, but I just believe that he's past his prime for UFC. But in the end, Vince screwed us all. The WrestleMania 34 screw job is what I like to call it. Lesnar retained the title. I believe it was 5 F5s. Roman kicked out of all of them. I think it was 6 suplexes. It was weird. The crowd wanted to hate the match. I hated the match. I hated the match. They were chanting, "This is awful." We had CM Punk chants. We had all sorts of chants. Brock dominated. He dominated Roman in Brock Lesnar fashion.
Dominated more than he did on their first match.
Dominated way more than he did on the first match. It was basically, to me, it was their WrestleMania 31 match all over again, with a detour into the Randy versus Brock match where he takes the gloves off and he starts raining the sharp elbows down. We had Roman. Once he got that, he opened Roman up the hard way, cut him open. Roman's leaking from the forehead.
That I say was the best part for me.
And that's it. That's shades of that Austin Bret Hart. I mean, WWE has a no blood policy, but
you get that Reigns rage,
that Samoan anger, and to me, I felt that was it. Okay, he's seen the blood. The Crimson Mask is on. Roman gets up. He turns up. We get Superman punch. We get a spear, and we get an F5, and that's it. It's almost like when he pinned the Undertaker all those years ago, and all you hear is the air being sucked out of the arena. Everybody who betted on Roman winning, losing their money because Vince wanted Brock to go over. We get a follow-up on Monday night. Roman comes out, chorus of boos, boo as usual. No mixed crowd reaction or anything like that. Basically saying almost like sounded like a conspiracy theory.
Right.
Vince didn't want to look him in the face. Are we talking the gimmick? Or are we talking real life? You know, we know it. We know wrestling's fake. And this to everybody, you know, listen to us break this down. We all know. Just to the women who watch reality TV shows, Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's fake. At least our guys get to put hands on each other. But we know it's a storyline. We know.
All for entertainment.
All for entertainment. But when you break the fourth wall, as they say, kayfabe, and you talk about Vince not looking you in the eye, are you talking about you didn't know the finish of the match? Are you saying that Vince screwed you out the finish of the match? Did you know, were you supposed to win? And that, in what happened was Vince changed his mind.
Kind of like the Booker T versus Triple H.
Exactly, because rumor is that the only person, everybody knew that Roman was supposed to win, and the only person that knew that he wasn't was the ref. And the ref found out once he hit the ring that Roman wasn't going over. So you get Roman cutting this promo about, he feels betrayed, and this, that, and the third, and out of nowhere you hear Moa. Samoa Joe makes his illustrious return. Oh, best music next to AJ Styles.
Right.
But Joe makes his illustrious return, and he says in a scathing promo what all of us are thinking: "You're a failure, Roman. You've had 4 chances, 4 years for the Universal title. You're a liar. You said you're the only person who can beat Brock Lesnar." In my eyes, Joe is the only person that got close to beating Brock Lesnar. Because the promo on Roman can't even say anything. Basically, nothing other than, "Come say it to my face." No, I don't need to. You're a failure, Roman.
The gimmick is getting stale.
The gimmick is stale.
But I feel like WWE in general, they're gonna keep that Samoan dynasty going.
Vince McMahon is going to
Vince is going to keep it going.
We need a heel reign.
We need a heel reign. And that takes me back to what I said. John Cena and Roman Reigns are nuclear baby faces to the point where it disgusts.
NXT, when Reigns wore the suit, he was himself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And they at times play that on Raw.
Yeah.
He got kind of slick.
Yeah.
At some points.
It's in wording, but not in character. You know, that's that, "I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy."
Cena and Reigns. The Cena and Reigns feud.
Yeah, that was great.
It brought out
Cena brought the best out of him.
Reigns that people wanted.
Yeah, but they didn't stick with it.
No.
Because that Reigns is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to, was it Peter Rosenberg? It was Peter Rosenberg. It was Peter Rosenberg. I think it was Peter Rosenberg. It wasn't Sam Roberts.
He got the golden ticket to make people hate him.
Who? Rosenberg?
No, Roman.
Oh, Roman. Oh, yeah. But how do you make a good baby face?
The night after,
you gotta go heel.
The night after he beat Taker.
Yeah.
All he said was, "It's my yard now. It's my yard now."
I hated it. Roman, I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. Joe, you're great.
I like Roman.
No, yeah, Roman is great.
Turn him heel.
Roman is a great wrestler. He's a great worker. He has awesome matches. If it wasn't for Vince trying to shove him down our throat, we wanted Daniel Bryan. You didn't give us Daniel Bryan. And I understand why you didn't give us Daniel Bryan. I have a feeling that they knew about those concussions. That's why they didn't pull those triggers on him. We had to stick with Roman. It's just how the cards have played itself out. But as a fan, running a podcast, by the fans, for the fans, we want to heel Roman. And we're not going to cheer a heel Roman. Yeah, Raw after WrestleMania, you probably get cheers for that. But as time progresses, heel Roman will get the boos. He'll work for the boos. Somebody said, I listened to a podcast, I listened to so many of them, but they did an interview either with Nia or with somebody close to the family. And the Anoa'i family, which Roman comes from, the Rikishis, the Usos, etc., they train their children as wrestlers to be heels. That's how they come in. When they train them to wrestle, Usos trained heels, Rikishi's trained heels, Umaga trained heels. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns is a trained heel, but they won't pull the trigger on him. Which is because Vince wants him to go over as a babyface. It's not going to happen. It's only going to happen if you turn him heel. And if you don't turn him heel,
he got that belt.
Did they all like start off
long hair?
When they started all the Samoans off, they started off as babyface like The Rock. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I'm kind of thinking like, okay, is this The Rock run You know, where you're going out there, you're Rocky Johnson, you know, and you're over babyface, hair wet, and you're winning, and the people don't like you. We've gotten to the point where the people don't like you. We've gotten to the point where you can turn this thing around and shove it in our faces and say, screw. I have been, every Monday Night Raw, I expect Roman Reigns to come out and say, you know what? Screw all of you guys. I've been working for you guys. I've been giving excellent matches on month after month, year after year, ever since I made it to the won the Royal Rumble. And all you guys do is spit in my face. I would say, F you guys, and I'm going to do what's good for me.
They can have him set up for the next Stone Cold, CM Punk.
He has to have, but see, he has to have a good authority figure for that. Vince McMahon is what made Stone Cold Steve Austin. Straight up. I mean, you get that Ronda Rousey, Stephanie is Rousey's Vince. Mm-hmm. You know, when you have Daniel Bryan in the authority, Daniel's Austin, Triple H is Vince. Those dynamics work. They work, but you got to make the switch. You can't force it, because if you force it, the same thing.
Like he would have to go after Kurt, because
he would have to go after Kurt. He would have to go after Kurt.
What do you guys think of Lesnar Reigns Part 3?
The greatest Royal Rumble, the 50-man Royal Rumble, and then their championship.
Reigns get it there. I say that Lesnar will hold on to that.
Well, rumor is that they're doing it in Saudi Arabia because they feel like they can get the response that Vince can get the response that he wants. He gets the cheers, and as long as Vince can get the cheers while Roman is over, he's happy. But what happens after that?
Right.
That's what Brock is not gone. The experiment did not work. It failed. Brock is still here.
I want to see him and Lashley before he leaves.
Brock and Bobby?
Bobby, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what some people are thinking.
Yeah.
Lesnar beats Reigns at the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Holds it to SummerSlam, where Lashley and Lesnar meet.
Yeah.
And Lashley takes it.
I don't know, guys. It's a lot. We had the Monday night after Raw, and you know we had our debuts. We had AOP, Ember Moon, baby.
Loved it.
The Eclipse off the top rope hit Alexa Bliss. It was immaculate because Bliss has been taking the Eclipse for years in NXT. We got the Machine. We got Bobby Lashley. And don't be surprised if he ends up being your first African American Universal Champion. We got a lot of good stuff. And then Tuesday, just from the stuff that I've seen, we'll go over it soon, probably in the next couple of days. But the stuff that I saw so far Tuesday, Raw has a run for their money. They got a run for their money. All I'm going to say is, with Daniel Bryan now being a full-time wrestler, we have no GM on SmackDown. Who's the GM for SmackDown? What's going to happen? Is Shane McMahon staying? Is Shinsuke going to get into the WWE title picture? What happens with AJ Styles? How does he feel about that low blow? You know, what's going to happen on SmackDown? We already know the picture with Raw. Joe and Roman at Backlash, probably, if he comes out with the title. The Bar, we got a tag team eliminator because Vince doesn't like the word tournament. So Revival took on who did the Revival take on? They took on the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers. Gallows and Anderson. Nerds! They took on the Good Brothers of the Battle Club. And then Revival went over, and then we had Titus Worldwide go up against the debuting. No. I take that back. They went up against Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, and Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt went over. So we get the Revival versus the Woken Universe is what I'm gonna call them for right now until they get a tag team name. We got the return of Jeff Hardy in the Intercontinental title picture. I don't know how that DWI is gonna work out, but they apparently gave him the clearance to go. So good luck to Jeff. I can't wait to see what he does with it. But guys, we did it.
So that's going to wrap up this edition of the Looow Down Podcast. I know the sound was a little bit far away. We did have some technical difficulties starting out, but those will be rectified by next week. Before we go, I want to say stay posted to the Looow Down Wrestling Podcast page on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as liking our page on Facebook and clicking the bell on YouTube. That way you'll get all the updates on our latest episodes, new content, and more. We will also be starting to take questions from your comments on Facebook, comments on YouTube, or even if you send us a message on the Looow Down Wrestling Podcast Facebook page. We have a Twitter as well, the Looow Down Wrestling Pod with 3 O's. That way, if you want to leave a question there, or want to hit us up or have some feedback for us, you can get at us on Twitter. Besides that, thanks again, and roll with us again on the Looow Down.